time is ripe. The world is ready. You are going to experience literally Paramashiva. Most powerful, intangible but definitive, intense processes. This is the most powerful spiritual nuclear explosion, the strong force of Kailasa landing on planet Earth directly. One thing I can be sure, you will not exist end of the program. I can guarantee that. Only Paramashiva will be there. I welcome all of you, the whole world, to come and celebrate, enjoy not only the enlightenment ecosystem, the beauty of how it is getting revived. Be an insider for this great revival process. If you are an insider even for a startup company, you will understand not only the result of the company, even that being an insider is such a joy. Being an insider when it was happening is something extraordinary. So, I welcome all of you to come and be part of an insider of this revival of Kailasa, the enlightenment ecosystem, sovereign order of Kailasa, Kailasa nation itself. I request and welcome, invite all of you to become e-Kailasian. Get your free e-passport and make billions receive this free e-passport. What I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost.
Modern science says that all that exists, whether manifest or unmanifest, is a probability. Infinite probabilities create a quantum field of infinite potential. An observer collapses the probability wave into a particle. Your intention thus creates the reality. Called the observer effect, it is the very act of observation that precipitates any reality into existence. Hinduism is far advanced than this primitive understanding in the modern day. Hindus know this field of infinite potential as Paramashiva. Paramashiva permeates everything, manifest and unmanifest. He is intelligent, compassionate, and a myriad other auspicious qualities. Our scriptures provide detailed descriptions of how to invoke His presence on the earthly plane, the visualizations that manifest Him, the mantras, sounds that invoke Him, how He looks, His various dimensions, the actions that please Him and have His blessings rain on you, the times in the past when He has manifested for us and led us through a breakthrough. Hinduism knows the art of communing with Paramashiva to manifest any reality we want. And when our effort and all the knowledge isn't enough, He Himself incarnates in human body to show us how, to liberate us, to show us where we are stuck, to take us to oneness. Pratyaksha Pada Puja to His Divine Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda, Paramashiva incarnate. Sit at His sacred feet. Let Him awaken you to your field of infinite possibilities, to your oneness with Him. Register now. Pratyaksha Pada Puja.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously.
I'll start from the basics and give you the best of the best of Vedas and Agamas. Listen. Purpose of life is enlightenment. Enlightenment means having the ultimate truth, the most powerful, ultimate truths as your operating inner software.
Nithyananda, Satya Nithyarupa, Nithyananda, Satya Nithyarupa, Brahma Nithyananda, Vishnu Shivarupa,
Aushadha bath really wakes you up, not only your mentally, but it feels like every pore of your body gets well woken up, because when you apply the Aushadha, it gets into your skin, it activates every little cell under the skin, and it just really gets you wide awake. Because with so little sleep, we are able to function and stay all day, do yoga, do power manifestation. I think the Aushadha bath is a huge component of that. Thank you, Swamiji.
When the universal truths become the source cognitions for you, when you start reverberating with the universal truths, cosmic constitution, the ultimate cognitions, Paramasatyas, it is literally like an elephant entering into a hut, vibrating in the frequency of the cosmic constitution, cosmic truths, universal truths.
Extraordinary experience here. It's just the amazing temple, everything, and the Gurukul kids. Every kid is just like a mini god. Oh my God.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam, we welcome each and every one of you joining with us, sitting with us, watching Nithyananda TV, Kailasa's official TV channel. My name is Srinith Mangalananda Maharaj, and as a part of today's Nithyananda Satsang segment, we're going to be looking over psychosomatic disorders and how they are affecting society, how they may play a major role in the health of society, how it's a very under-addressed problem and which humanity is not dealing with adequately. So before we go ahead and enter into today's topic, let me go over some figures and facts, and most importantly, let me go ahead and introduce Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the reviver of the Kailasa nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is an avatar as per Hinduism and is the Supreme Pontiff, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam of Hinduism. Swamiji, whom we lovingly call, has revived the science of power manifestation, yoga, and created temple-based universities for humanity. The Sovereign Order of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the Nithyananda Order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora, are working for global peace and to give a super-conscious breakthrough to humanity. Nithyananda Hindu University, the world's largest Hindu university with extended campuses in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and reviving 20 million source books on Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shyamalapita Sarvajnapeetham, the ancient apex body of Hinduism, and the present emperor of the Suryavamshi Surangi Samrajya. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on his person as well as on his character by anti-Hindu elements. Here we have some news and updates from Kailasas across the globe. Yesterday was the 13th anniversary of the Jivan Mukti Day, following day before yesterday, the 2nd of March, the Hindu Holocaust Day, anti-Hindu element suicide day. Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship celebrated the occasion with the following alankaras and rituals happening here in Adi Kailasa, Birdi. The Jivan Mukti Arati, Devi Maheshwari Alankaram, Kalabhairava Pache Sattai Alankaram, the deity of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gracing us all in the Alankara of Subramanya. Also, with the grace and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Kailasa in Seattle celebrated its 13th anniversary yesterday. The temple was inaugurated on February 24, 2008, and with the mission of bringing super-conscious breakthrough to the community around the Pacific Northwest area. This temple is home to the largest Nataraja deity in the world, with being 12 feet tall, and hosts some of the largest deities in North America. Kailasa and Tambaram, Chennai is also celebrating its 7th anniversary yesterday, with 21 Naivedyams being offered and Annadan, free food being distributed to up to 150 people. Apart from all of this, Kailasa's Nithyananda Hindu University enters into day 4 of the Paramashivoham Level 2 program, Season 23, crossing over 130 days of unbroken online services to people from over 100 countries. Now here we have some of the glimpses of the Nithyananda Satsang of yesterday, March 3rd, 2021. I'll go ahead and read out the glimpses of yesterday's Satsang. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Read Jivan Mukti, live Jivan Mukti, radiate Jivan Mukti, manifest Jivan Mukti, and share Jivan Mukti. Today is a beautiful day. Not only is this the day which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given Jivan Mukti to the world, some people who don't like Jivan Mukti science try to give the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism Videha Mukti to him on this very day. 2009 March 3rd, I gave Jivan Mukti as a gift to the whole world. Some people who don't like this Jivan Mukti science try to give Videha Mukti to me, means try to destroy my body on the same day, on March 3rd, 2010, by locking me from outside, inside my quarters and burning me alive. I feel not only my ability to give Jivan Mukti, but my ability to put up with all the persecution and harassment, to handle and win through all the persecution. Both are the best gifts given to me by Paramashiva. Blessings to Seattle Temple on the 13th anniversary and Tambaram Adinam on the 7th anniversary. Today is the Jivan Mukti Jayanti. Share Jivan Mukti. Let us all share Jivan Mukti book in all languages in digital form with the whole world. Let us enrich the whole world with Jivan Mukti from today. Let us all spend our time today in reading Jivan Mukti and enriching the whole world with Jivan Mukti. So these are the glimpses of March 3rd of yesterday's Satsang. The two upcoming events which we are having. On the 7th of March, the Pachai Patni Vratam is taking place. For more information regarding the Pachai Patni Vratam, you can visit the link being projected, events.kailasa.org/kaikalpa/ppv-with-sph. We also have the Paramashivoham program conducted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself on the 11th of March. to register, and if you want to know more about the Paramashivoham program being conducted directly by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, you can visit the URL next to it, gov.shrikailasa.org/Paramashivoham/register. Coming to today's topic, different types of psychosomatic disorders and problems that the world is facing. These are some of the things which we'll be learning in today's presentation. How every aspect of modern human life contributes towards the deterioration of mental health. How Kailasa is working towards healing individuals and society from the psychological disorders. So these are some of the points, some of the facts and figures which we'll be going over in regards to how psychosomatic disorders is destroying the whole world. Not only is it destroying the whole world, but how society has taken a very underreached approach in terms of solving the people's problems, and how later in a video Swamiji will be explaining how modern society with their modern medicines and modern methods and techniques will be unable to solve the problems created by psychosomatic disorders. Moving along with the presentation, we'll be first looking into depression and how some of the facts and figures of how depression is affecting the world. Depression is a common mental disorder. Globally, more than 264 million people of all ages suffer from depression. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide and is a major contributor to the overall global burden of disease. More women are affected by depression than men are. Depression can also lead to suicide. There are effective psychological and pharmacological treatments for moderate and severe depression. It's estimated that 16.2 million adults in the United States, or 6.7% of American adults, have had at least one major depressive episode in any given year. Major depressive disorder with psychotic features. About 25% of patients who are admitted to a hospital due to depression actually have psychotic depression. 1 in 13 people worldwide will experience a psychotic episode before the age of 75. This is quoted directly from the president of the American Psychological Association in their 1998. We discovered 2 astonishing things about the rate of depression across the century. The first was there is now between 10 and 20 times as much of it as there was 50 years ago. And the second is that it has become a young person's problem. When I first started working in depression 30 years ago, the average age of which the first onset of depression occurred was 29 and a half. Now the average age of depression is between 14 and 15. So you can see the huge age jump which we have taken just in the last 20 years. 20 years ago, the average age of depression was 30 in the Middle Ages. But now it has come all the way up to a teenager. A teenager is the average age of a person starting to experience depression in his or her lives. So you can see within 20 years, if we have already come so far, then you can imagine within the next 20 years where we're going to be heading in this state, with society functioning in this pace. Psychosomatic disorders. A psychosomatic disorder is a disease which involves both body and mind. Some physical diseases are thought to be particularly prone to being made worse by mental factors such as stress and anxiety. Your mental state can affect how bad a physical disease is at any given time. Stress, anxiety, all of these directly contribute, and I'm sure many of you have experienced this in your life. When you're too stressed out, suddenly you'll have headache, or when you worry too much, suddenly you feel like your stomach is upset and you have butterflies jumping in your stomach. Directly, all your emotions, all your thoughts affect your body physically. And when the negative emotions, negative thoughts are continuously flowing throughout your body, in and out, it naturally sends negative ripples throughout your body, and it finally leads to psychosomatic disorders. The first type of psychosomatic disorders includes people who have both a mental illness and a medical illness, and these illnesses complicate the symptoms and management of each other. The second type includes people who have psychiatric problem that is a direct result of a medical illness or its treatment, such as having depression due to cancer and its treatment. So they're describing 2 types of psychosomatic disorders here. One is where the medical disorder and the mental disorder both complement each other and both are helping each other to finally in the end destroy the patient. Whereas the second type is where because of a medical disease, the mental disease has taken form and the mental disease has taken place. The third type of psychosomatic illnesses are the somatoform disorders. Somatoform disorders are psychiatric disorders that are displayed through physical problems. In other words, the physical symptoms people experience are related to psychological factors rather than a medical cause. Body dysmorphic disorder is an obsession or preoccupation with a minor or imaginary flaw, affects about 1 in 50 million people. In the United States, an estimated 5 to 10 million people have this condition. It may be even more common than these numbers represent. People with body dysmorphic disorders may be reluctant to discuss their symptoms and may not even receive a diagnosis. So this is pretty much obvious how these are some problems which we'll be facing inside ourselves, and we feel too ashamed to come about it, to even go and share it with a doctor or with even a family friend. There is not one such person, but 5 million to 10 million who have this condition, who are not comfortable living inside their own body. And what could be a better curse than to feel completely hated, to have a body which you completely hate, to not be comfortable in the body which you are living in. These are some of the worst things, worst tortures humanity is being put into, being shown that their body is imperfect, that they should not love their body, that they should come and apply for this therapy, they should come and do this surgical procedure, come and use this cream. So many different things the consumeristic lifestyle is trying to put upon a person just so that they will be forced to hate themselves for the sake of just buying their products. You can imagine how dysfunctional and how destructive and dangerous modern society is becoming. Psychiatric disorders are very common in the United States. In fact, 1/5 of the American population suffers from some sort of mental disorder during any given year. This is again by the American Psychiatric Association. Suicide. Close to 800,000 people die due to suicide every year. For every suicide, there are many more people who attempt suicide every year. A prior suicide attempt is the single most important risk factor for suicide in the general population. Suicide is the third leading cause of death in the age groups of 15 to 19 years old. 79% of global suicides occur in low or middle income countries. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the US for all ages. Every day, approximately 123 Americans die by suicide. There is one death by suicide in the US every 12 minutes. Depression affects 20 to 25% of Americans aged 18 and older in any given year. Suicide takes the lives of over 48,000 Americans every year. So these are just some of the statistics of suicide. Though this may be generated for the American population, if in the US, if this is the case, then we can be pretty rest assured that this is pretty much the case all over the world as well. In 2015, there were 1 million attempted suicides in the United States. Approximately 1 person attempted suicide every 31 seconds. It is generally estimated that there are 25 attempts for 1 death by suicide. Between 25 to 50% of people who kill themselves had previously attempted suicide. Those who made suicide attempts are at higher risk for actually taking their own lives. Each suicide intimately affects at least 6 other people in the immediate family and friend circle. In 2013, it was estimated that 1 in every 63 Americans became a suicide loss survivor. So you can say that suicide is not only committing the worst crime against yourself, you are also damaging the mental health, you're also creating imbalances, you're creating problems, worry, suffering, frustration for all the people living around you as well. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. It was responsible for more than 47,000 deaths in 2019, which is about 1 death per 11 minutes. The number of people who think about or attempt suicide is even higher. In 2019, 12 million American adults seriously thought about suicide, while 3.5 million attempted a suicide and 1.4 million actually committed suicide. Here we have a Shastra Pramana of the Guru. The syllable Gu means darkness, and the syllable Ru means the one who dispels them. Because of the power to dispel darkness, the Guru is thus named. This Shastra Pramana is taken from the Advayat Taraka Upanishad, verse 16. Here we have a small video of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism speaking about the psychosomatic disorders and how modern society will not be able to cure psychosomatic disorders simply because they are giving diagnosis, they are giving treatment for the wrong place.
When a person starts falling more into depth, then the rules of how one operates on length start to change.
Yes. Actually, length reduces. I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasudashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda.
Then the rules of how one operates on length starts to change, right?
Yes. Actually, length reduces, breath reduces, so your worrying and constantly soaking you in your worrying disappears. Because no energy left out for worrying. Understand? Otherwise, you worry about everything, and if you don't get anything also, oh, today everything is going well, I think tomorrow it is going to be hell. How many of you have this worry? Today if everything goes well, tomorrow is going to be a bad day. How many of you have that? Raise your hand. Almost it is a universal.
Swamiji, Agora?
Just one final thought.
Go ahead.
So then the idea that length is logic and intellect is also partially true, because it then is changing with the person where they are.
Yes. Because the person also is losing his logic.
Yes.
Whenever you are not able to handle yourself, the truth is on the depth side, you are on the logic side. It is like you sit on the branch and cut the root of the branch. That is what you do when you are sitting on the logic and trying to manage all the decisions. Decisions of depth, but from the logic.
Yeah, Swamiji, my question related to medicine and disease. So, the diseases... Medicine, the allopathic medicine and diseases. So, the diseases that happen that in length and breadth.
No, it is not always. Actually, all psychosomatic diseases happen from, actually they happen in depth and manifest into length and breadth. But we dump medicines on the length and breadth, so depth never gets healed.
How does the depth of treating...
Listen. Psychosomatic disorders, let me talk about that. Starts in depth, manifests in length and breadth. Chemical, which cannot get digested, assimilated into our muscle memory and biomemory, touches only our physical aspect, stops manifestation of symptoms, does not cure the core disease. But herbs has the capacity by its very tendency to dissolve into us completely, become part of even our muscle memory and biomemory. That is why when the herb-based things, without becoming part of the chemical, when it goes inside, it does so much of healing. Actually, chemical-based medicine is only few hundred years old. How can that be called as traditional medicine? It should be herb-based medicine.
True. Does the depth of the patient itself or treating physician, does it affect the effects of...
The treating physician does not directly affect, but your Biomemory are the best wishes. Your energy can affect independent of the medication you provide.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And the feeling connection of the patient with the doctor makes the depth of placebo effect more.
Okay, got it, Swamiji.
Placebo is more when the patient has a feeling connection.
Yes. Beautifully, Swamiji explained how when the problem is elsewhere, when the problem is in some other dimension of you, allopathy medicine, all these modern techniques of trying to heal the psychosomatic disorders exist in a completely different plane. That is why no matter what treatment you go to, what treatment you try to have, other than a feel-good feeling, you never actually have any real solution. You never actually have any real cure. How is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in Kailasa healing the world from the psychosomatic disorders? The Paramashivoham program. Paramashivoham is not just a meditation program, it is pushing humanity to the next level of consciousness, to the consciousness of Paramashiva, the ultimate super consciousness as per Hinduism. The avatar, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, who has realized the state of super consciousness, is transmitting his experience of Paramashivam through initiation. This program will change you, who you know as yourself, your very being, to make you radiate super consciousness. More than ever, humanity needs to experience a superconscious breakthrough. While the materialistic, hedonistic society reaches its peak after maximum profits, depression, boredom, anxiety, stress, wrong ideas about sex have become rampant. Rich countries that hold 90% of the world's wealth are seeing more than 50% of their population depressed and using medication. So, with this, without any further ado, let me go ahead and introduce the panel who is joining here with me today as a part of the segment of Nithyananda Satsang. Along with myself, also have Ranoshan Edmund, Shivshankara Maharaj, and Sriniti Nyanatmananda, all of them joining from various parts to come and be here with us and to share their thoughts, their insights into how psychosomatic disorders are affecting the world and how Paramashivam is the only solution to bring them out and to heal them completely from these disorders. Thank you all so much for coming today and being a part of today's segment. When we go ahead and you can all start off by introducing yourselves. Shivshankara Maharaj, you can go ahead first. Introduce yourself for our audience, and then Ranoshan, you can go ahead and introduce yourself next, and then we can enter into today's discussion. So Shivshankara Maharaj, please feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and share your introduction. Yes, thank you so much, Maharaj. Ranoshan, you can go ahead next and introduce yourself for all our viewers. Please go ahead. Yes, thank you, Ranoshan, for coming today and being a part of the segment. Sriniti Nyanatmananda, you can go ahead next and introduce yourself for all our viewers. Please go ahead. Yes, thank you so much, Nithyananda, for coming today, joining us on today's panel. So, Ranosha, why don't you go ahead and start off the discussion for us? Share how psychosomatic disorders are affecting people. I think we pretty much have gone over that in the presentation, the different types of psychosomatic disorders and statistics of how it is affecting the world, how so many people are dying because of this disorder, and how it's enough treatment is not given. Treatment in the right place is not given. So why don't you go ahead and share your initial take on this topic? Yes, thank you so much, Ranoshan. Shashankar Maharaj, want you to go ahead and share from your experience directly how when you had these ups and downs, surely we all go through these ups and downs, whether we're here in the energy field of the Bidadi campus or whether we're outside. But how, after coming and joining Gurukul, how you were able to handle these ups and downs that you have, the emotional imbalances. Some days you'll be, whenever you go into depression or anxiety or some of the other emotional imbalance, how you have been able to help yourself, how the ecosystem has been able to support you to bring yourself back to completion again and again, and why is an ecosystem required, especially when you're traveling on the spiritual path, to hold yourself, to keep yourself in the highest state of completion. So I want you to go ahead and share from your experience, Maharaj, how you have been able to hold yourself, how the ecosystem has been supporting you. Swamiji has been supporting you through the Bidadi ecosystem, through the Nithyananda Gurukul, to keep yourself always in emotional state, in the state of completion. Please go ahead, Maharaj.
from the age of 14 to 21. That's the main thing where you take decisions, you know what to do, you get upset, you.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Yes. So this is a time where from the 14 to 21, we go, that is the point of the age where either I myself or the surroundings teenagers go through the ups and downs. And here in Kailasa's ecosystem, in the Adi Kailasa Bengaluru Adinam, in Gurukul itself, especially when we go through these ups and downs, or when we go to the depression, when we feel powerless within ourselves, there is always people. There are always the whole Sangha is there to support us, give us powerful cognitions, make us into the completion, give us time, not just at one point of time, just take decision. Oh, if you are powerlessness, just keep on be with it, and there's nobody take care of you. Not like that. So there is a ecosystem in Kailasa where Swamiji brings. Swamiji always have that you should be in the space of completion and give the space of completion when another person is in the space of completion, and the same person whenever others go into the space of incompletion for any reason. So other person who's elderly to you or who's your same age brings you, speaks to you, give powerful connection and brings you to this space of completion. The same way for vice versa. When other person, whoever it is who is in the space of incompletion, and you're a person who's elderly to you, or your own same age, speaks to each other and bring both of yourselves into the space of completion. So the whole ecosystem is basically raising us into the higher frequency of consciousness, making sure everybody is in completion between each other, and making sure that whenever we feel powerless, whenever the ups and downs happens, either give one or two powerful cognitions of Swamiji or your own experience, and make the other person feel into completion and know what's happening, what's wrong with him, find questions and keep on bringing him into the completion and try to reach the space of Swamiji, space of completion, basically to stop what is happening. So Kailasa's ecosystem, which Swamiji is bringing up, is very important, especially in all the Adinams all over the world, and Adi Kailasa Nithyananda Gurukul, where his Swamiji's powerful connection is very clearly imbibed in everyday's morning satsang, and now is being shared to everybody. And whenever we feel down, and whenever some point of time, let me give an example practically. It may look like I'm repeating the whole thing again and again. So when I was feeling powerless few days back, one of my teacher or one of my mentor who is mentoring me, he called up and he was speaking. He was giving a cognition. I was rebelling back. I was saying, no, it's not that, and it's not fine. I'm not okay with it. So he gave a very powerful cognition. He was telling, Swamiji was telling this in Satsang, but it did not click in me. So after the mentor was telling to me, I really clicked on it. So he was telling that the problems are not from outside. Usually we all think if problem comes or you feel powerless, you always blame the situation which is happening outside. The problems are also inside you. Look inside yourself. If you change some inside yourself, automatically the situation around you changes. So it doesn't, that whatever situation may occur in you, for everybody ups and downs are there. So if you're going to blame the situation outside, it is not going to move forward. So look inside yourself and see what you have to clear, what you have to change, and what you have to bring yourself into completion. When you do that, automatically situation around you changes. So there is one of the big powerful conversation which I had, which really clicked in me and which really changed my life. So this is what I want to share, Barash. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shivshankar Maharaj. Suniti Jnanatmananda, so the many times in the previous segments you have beautifully shared your experience working, excuse me, your experience working in different schools, in various educational institutions. But there is something different which you noticed after coming here to Biddi, after seeing the Nithyananda Gurukul. So Shivashankar Maharaj actually had shared a beautiful experience which he had, where after coming here to Nithyananda Gurukul, how he had shared actually a real life example, how he was going through something, but how an Adinavasi here, how a person who's also part of the ecosystem, how the spiritual ambience helps in supporting someone where even now, whatever age we may be, until we achieve that space of oneness, achieve that space of enlightenment, we are all going to go through these ups and downs. So Maharaj had shared beautifully how even recently when he was going through mood swing, when he was going through an imbalance and incompletion, how he was able to be helped by an Adinavasi to come back to the space of completion. So I wanted you to go ahead and share, Maharaj, how this is much different from other schools outside, how this part of where people support each other, not for any sake of, you give me something now, I'll scratch your back later, but just simply for the sake of bringing them up, without any other vested interest, without any bias, without any other intention, simply just to help, just to bring another person to the space of completion. How you have not been able to see this science, this same the same context being given by other students, other kids outside, by any other educational institution. Why don't you please go ahead and you can share directly from your experience. Please go ahead.
Nityanam, thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, that's yeah, exactly. There's this thing called like No Child Left Behind. It was some kind of a like educational reform movement in North America for a while. And so the idea is like, okay, what they're noticing is by the time kids get to like grade 3 or 4 or 5, around like the age of 9 or 10, they either start lacking in like language skills or math or some area. And so they start instituting this reform called No Child Left Behind. So it's like, because what happens then, by the time the kid is 13, they're behind. And so they're losing their self-esteem. And so they get into mischief, they get into antisocial, depression, drugs, alcohol, and then, then it just, it grows from there, snowballs from there. So that's the basic idea, is like, keep people being successful in sort of their life. So, yeah, so there's this reform called No Child Left Behind. And so it has the intention that it's basically saying the educational system is not sufficient for everyone. It doesn't address people's life needs. That's why the reform is there. That's why it's there, because it's recognizing that the schooling system, the educational system, is not providing what people need. That's the fundamental thing. And obviously that's the thing in our life. If we look, each one of us has depression or karma, a blind spot where we feel like there's something we didn't do or we're not able to do. That was my experience, even working in schools in Montreal, inner city Montreal. There was a huge amount of social problems, just an enormous amount of social problems. It was literally pointless to try to teach anything. What's the point in forcing math down someone's throat when they're living in a broken home with alcoholic, abusive parents? It's like what the school is providing to them at that point is almost nothing. It's locking them in a room for 8 months, and constantly giving them poor evaluations on their abilities and not valuing, really anything of them, because they're not able to sort of regurgitate, specific numbers or words. So the thing is, what happens, obviously, if you lock a kid in a room for 12 years and tell them they're not good enough, they're going to develop a lot of bad habits. And so anyway, we all see that, just specifically to that point of the unique thing that you can see in Gurukul is about kids' resiliency and spontaneity, because the 2-year-old child is very spontaneous, right? They're on or they're off. There's no 60%, you know, they're never tired. If they're tired, they're sleeping. You know, there's life and there's sleep. Like there's no 60%, you know, like I'm feeling slow today. No. 2-year-olds don't have that, right? They're on or they're off. And so, but 9-year-olds are not like that, right? And 13-year-olds are not like that. They learn depression. So somewhere between the age of 2 and 7 or 9, they're learning depression. And so anyway, as Swamiji reveals to us that, you know, what happens is that bubbling, overflowing energy gets blocked by your incompletions. And so the issue is that the educational systems around the world, basically, you know, they don't know how to prevent those blockages from happening. They don't know how to prevent, and I mean, you know, a lot of the motivations behind the setting up of the educational systems, they don't want to know how to provide that to people. So the thing is, if you have this huge life energy when you're 2, then where did it go when you're 7 or 13 or 25? Where did it go? It got covered up. And so, but the proof of the living masters, like this is the thing about Dharma, Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the living masters is they prove that you can live without depression. Like that bubbling, overflowing, endless energy. Swamiji has more energy than all of us, but it's not because, you know, he's necessarily chronologically younger than any of us, you know, or it's like, it's because the life energy has continued to flow spontaneously. And so that's what I saw. Like Swamiji says all these things, right? He says that animals can speak and you can fly, all these things. And sometimes, you know, your doubt is just like, wow, how could he possibly make that happen, you know? And I had those doubts too. It wasn't until 2011, really, when I was meeting with the Balasants, with the students in Nithyananda Gurukul, that I saw, oh, okay, this is how everything he said is going to happen. Because when you take the spontaneity of a child, like the 2-year-old child, their blissful, overflowing life energy, and you don't dilute it, it's unstoppable. It becomes Swamiji. It's unstoppable because he's boundless, overflowing love, and he just continues expressing bliss and love and compassion. That's what he does. Like we see that with all of us. Everyone has incompletions for decades now, but he never stops being patient and giving solutions. So he just continuously, it's like, it doesn't matter what the rest of the world is doing, he's giving solutions. And that's just the way it is. And that's what, you know, the yogic tradition is. And so, yeah, so what I saw with the students in Gurukul was that life energy. And because what you see with kids who are 14 years old in a regular school, say inner city Montreal, is there's the sort of head of the class, the 3 or 4 or 5 kids who one is good at language, one is good at art, one is good at science. And so they are excelling in that area. And so they're sort of doing well. And then there's, you know, then the lowest kids who are just not intellectually, you know, supported to manifest those kind of things. And so they're not involved, they're low energy, they're getting into trouble. So they don't flow with the routine very well. They don't engage in activities actively. They avoid a lot of stuff, which is destroying their life and their life energy. So that's what you see. In any spectrum of kids you take from anywhere around the world, that's what you see. There's a few who are going with the program. There's a big mass in the middle who sometimes choose to go along with the life flow and sometimes who don't. And then the lowers who just try to avoid all the time. And so that becomes your life, is you're just constantly either you're channeled in one direction or maybe 2 or 3 maximum as one person, and being successful in those areas and expressing a lot of energy in those areas. But in other areas, you are not even engaging at all. Like a lot of intellectually successful children will not be physically active at all, or they'll not be artistic. Or you see some of the geniuses who go into like science or astronomy or something, but they're completely antisocial. They're not very good at communicating or teaching, like those kind of things, right? So you see a child can excel in 1 or 2, almost never 3 areas, but that's very rare also. So the mass of the people don't have that energy like a 2-year-old child. If they're engaging in whatever it is, reading or exercise or eating or going to the restroom, they're fully into it. And if it goes to something else, then they're fully into that. And if they don't like it, they explode in screaming in tears. And then as soon as that's over, they're happy and going to the next. So they're 100% on no matter what it is. But you don't see that with kids by the time they're 7 or 9 or 12. But in the Gurukul, I saw that. And I'm not saying that everyone was great at everything. But what you saw was, instead of, if a student wasn't engaged in that activity, they were not depressed and low. They would go high energy into something else. Whereas in a classroom, if they're locked down, they can't go high energy into something else. There's one teacher, there's 30 kids, you have to do that activity. If you even talk or look somewhere else, you'll be scolded for that. So you only have 2 options. You have to go exactly where the teacher's brain is taking you, or you have to go into depression. That's the only options. But in the Gurukul, I saw like, if the child was not good at the thing, they would continue to try, and the attitude was amazing. I'll just share one thing because I could go on and on and on. One experience I specifically remember, one of the beautiful things about the Gurukul also is the older students who grasp the concepts more and start to imbibe them more and become world leaders, they start to teach the younger students. And so you start to get these enlightened teenagers teaching these enlightened kids. And so they have this beautiful childlike space of ability to share and communicate amongst themselves and run their whole community by themselves, that is something any teacher needs to see, how 150 kids can be brought to silence by just one 13-year-old saying Nithyanandam, Nithyanandam 2 or 3 times quietly in a room of 100 screaming children, by choice, not by force. So one experience I saw was the students were doing alankaram, dressing the deities. And one of the older students, he was about 15, who was really good at the alankaram, he had done it. And he asked one of the other students, the Balasans, who was a couple years younger than him and a little bit newer to Gurukul, he said, how did I do? How does it look? And the younger student said, yeah, it looks fine. He says, no, tell me what's wrong with it. And the other student says, no, nothing, it looks fine. He says, no, you have to tell me, look at it and be honest and tell me where it can be improved. Because if you don't tell me, I can't make it more authentic. And that was just beautiful. He's like, tell me the truth, tell me where it can be improved, because if you don't, it takes away from my authenticity. And that's not something you see in any school, right? It's like, oh, just say it's good and then you feel good. But it's not about being authentic. It's not about making sure that you're authentically expressing yourself. It's oftentimes just saying, okay, give me the mark and that's all I care about. Give me the mark in this class. I'll get 90% in language arts, but 30% in physical education. I'll get my diploma and move on. But that's not the way it functions in Gurukul. It's like, we all have to be authentic, no matter what it is. And there's not this resistance to negative feedback. It's like we use the negative feedback for the possibility of expanding and understanding that, as was mentioned earlier by Maharaj, that our life is our responsibility. And the change and possibility in life comes from recognizing that we're the source of our life, nothing outside. So this was just amazing. He did a great job of alankaram. And then he said, tell me what's wrong with it. And then the younger student said nothing. He said, no, you have to tell me what's wrong. How should it be improved? He said, no, it looks great. He said, listen, you have to tell me how it should be improved so that I can know, because I need to know. If there's a part of it that should be improved, I need to know. So look at it and find something that should be improved so that I know how, so that I can grow. So, but I could go on and on, but you see, and it's not just one child, the whole group had this resilience, spontaneity. It's often focused in international education, The resiliency. What's the resiliency factor in kids? The resiliency, but they don't know how to do it. But the resiliency in Gurukul is incredible. The energy never goes down. It could go in a different direction, but it never goes down. And it doesn't go internal to depression because kids don't let kids be depressed. They naturally don't let each other be depressed. They say, wake up and what's wrong with you? And you need to take a nap, take a nap. Kids don't let kids be depressed. That's not in their nature. So if you just don't crush their energy and let them express and express and express, but teachers can't handle that. You can't let 30 kids express themselves constantly in a room. It'll be chaotic. So you need an enlightened being who knows, okay, this is the source, this is where you're going, this is the freedom you have to play, but these are the parts that have to be sometimes directed, because a regular person just doesn't know that, and they can't handle that many people. But it was this beautiful, it's a beautiful thing you'll not see anywhere. The resiliency of energy. Even, I'm not saying they're good at everything, but nonstop energy. And that is what keeps your life energy. A 2-year-old has energy all the time. So if you can maintain that and just mature it, you end up like Swamiji. So yeah, that's some of my experience. Sorry I went on for a bit, but it's a huge opportunity. Thanks, Nithyananda.
Yes, thank you so much, Nyanpananda, for sharing such a beautiful story, sharing your experience and how you are personally seeing the difference between the Nithyananda Gurukul and between other education institutions outside. So we're almost come on time here. Just to wrap this up, Ranoshan, why don't you go ahead and share from your experience. I'm sure you've attended more than one Paramashivoham program till now. And so the transformation you saw in the Paramashivoham program before and after, and what can be the impact of the Paramashivoham program conducted directly by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself? What could be the expected, what is your expected outcome from the Paramashivoham program? How can someone bring their near and dear one or bring themselves to the program and be rest assured that the psychosomatic disorders or whatever the problem they may be facing in their life, for that being, how it can be solved? Please go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I can say about the Paramashivoham programs is there are obviously multiple Paramashivoham sessions after another. But I can say after attending 10 consecutive Paramashivohams, not a single one is the same. Not a single one. Every single one is unique, and every single one, you get a unique breakthrough. You start to see a completely different side of yourself. You start to see a completely side of the world around you, and you start to have a completely different, unique experience of Paramashiva. And so when it comes to the Paramashivoham program, I remember Swamiji sharing in one satsang, Paramashivoham is literally the ecosystem of Kailasa. This is how I remember, but this is the ecosystem of Kailasa, where once you basically it starts but never ends. And when it comes to the Paramashivoham session coming in March 11, it's exactly the same. I can't even say exactly the same thing because now Swamiji himself is directly coming and conducting the program. Swamiji is directly coming and engaging, entangling with every single one of us in the Paramashivoham program. And so it is literally a super conscious breakthrough. Like if I can say, what can you expect from it? What you should tell your friends, family, like why you should come and all these things is expect the unexpected, because nothing like you've ever seen will happen. Every single program, every single season, it's completely new breakthrough, completely new experience, completely something that's been unheard of. And now Swamiji himself is directly, physically coming to conduct the program. So what kind of super conscious breakthrough this is going to be? So this is what I can share about the Paramashivoham, my experience about it, and how I'm looking forward to the upcoming. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ranoshan, for sharing your experience on the Paramashivoham program. How a person can expect that not just psychosomatic disorders, but any problem, anything which they think is difficult in the life, how all of that can be solved just by simply coming and attending the Paramashivoham program. For more details about the Paramashivoham program, you can visit paramashivoham.nithyananda.org. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our panelists for coming today and being a part of today's segment. Thank you all so much for coming today and sharing your opinions, your thoughts, how psychosomatic disorders is a very big problem in today's life, how education institutions need to reform, need to start adapting the Gurukul system of lifestyle, not only to save themselves, but it's for the future of the generation. If we want a happy civilization going forward, if you want a happy humanity, if you want to save humanity, then you need to adapt the Gurukul system of education. Thank you all so much for coming today. And with this, it's time to enter into the meditation. Prepare ourselves to receive Swamiji for the Nitya Satsang. We request all our viewers, everyone, to sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and bring your awareness into your Ananda Kanda. Visualize Paramashiva sitting, visualize Swamiji sitting in your Ananda Kanda as Paramashiva with 25 heads and 50 hands. Now, start chanting the Mahavakya mantra, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, and allow the mantra to reverberate throughout your entire body. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Devi Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti is gracing as Kaumari, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness Swamiji's deity is gracing as Asitanga Bhairava, and Kalabhairava Swami is gracing in Sarva Alankara. In this Vijayotsavam, we celebrate all the victories of Hinduism. Let us now offer our worship and gratitude to Devi Parashakti, Swamiji, and Kalabhairava Swami.
Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalavachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Dhurasi Dhurvadhurvantam Dhurvatayo Osman Dhurvatitam Dhurvajam Vajam Dhurvamaha. Shri Nithyananda Shri Parashakti Shri Nithyananda Shri Parashakti Namaha. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Surupaya Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Namaha. Shri Kalabhairava Swamine Namo Namaha. Dhupamagrapajami. Om Sajyam Trivarti Sanyuktam Vanhina Yojitam Maya Grhanamangalam Deepam Trailokyatimrapaham. Shri Nithyananda Shri Parashakti Namaha. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Sarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Namaha. Shri Kalabhairava Swamine Namo Namaha. Deepam Darshayami. Athanaivedyam. Om Amrite Amritodbhave Amritavarshini Amritam Avaya Shravaya Swaha. Shri Nithyananda Shri Parashakti Namaha. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Sarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Namaha. Shri Kalabhairava Swamine Namo Namaha. Nana Vidha Naivedyani Nivedayami. Om Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trembike Gauri Narayani Namostute. Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi Tanno Hamsa Prachodayate. Kala Kalaya Vidmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahi Tanno Kalabhairava Prachodayate. Om Shri Nithyananda Shri Parashakti Namaha. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Sarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Namaha. Shri Kalabhairava Swamine Namo Namaha. आनन्दकर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि। मङ्गलं कल्पवृक्षाय मङ्गलं ज्ञानदायिने सदाशिवाय श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वराय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं श्रीविद्याम्बायै मङ्गलं कामदायिन्यै सर्वमङ्गलदात्री नित्यानन्देश्वर्यै मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मङ्गलम्। परावतार नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे मङ्गलम्।
சுப்பிரமணியன் காக்க போரிக்கரம் வீரர்கள் பத்தும் பாங்குடனே புறம்
Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. The sacred secret science of Kaya Kalpa is Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa to the whole humanity, to the whole world today. From today, Paramashiva will reveal the great sacred secret science of Kaya Kalpa. Understand? Search for healthy life, long life, healthy long life was done by human beings from time immemorial. Through their seeking, research, experiences, expertise, human beings have discovered many things to have long, healthy life in various civilizations. In Saraswati civilization, in Ganges civilization, in Hindu civilization, in African civilizations, in Egyptian civilizations, in various civilizations, a lot of things were invented, discovered, reinvented, rediscovered. But Paramashiva himself has revealed directly from Kailasa this sacred secret science in Vedic agamic literatures. Now, last 2 years, Paramashiva has directly showered me with that science experientially. The last 2 years, from the time I left India, I can see very clearly. Whole day I sit in Samadhi, receive all these great truths, and read the scriptures, Shastras, realize the real meaning, in-depth meaning, and decode those Shastras. I have received so much from Paramashiva last more than 2 years. Now I will present everything to all of you in an organized way. During this research, revelations, and after Paramashiva reveals, studying the scriptures and decoding it, revealing to all of you in this whole work. Everything Paramashiva revealed, I'll share it with you all. In this work, I have also spent little time in studying what various other cultures, other traditions, other researchers, human beings try to gather information through their research and development, through their thinking and collecting and organizing the data, whatever they did. I studied that also. Listen. Listen carefully. I am giving you the methodology through which Paramashiva revealed everything to me. First, as experience, he gave me this sacred, secret science. Once I started manifesting that in my life, I went through the sacred scriptures. In which Paramashiva has documented this knowledge. When I went through the Vedic Agamic scriptures where Paramashiva has revealed this science in a detailed way, I understood the in-depth meaning. I understood the deeper meaning. The sacred secrets got revealed to me. I decoded the whole scriptures in a different level. Listen. When these revelations happened in me, I was so excited, inspired, energized. I tried to see various other knowledge traditions. Have they did any work in this field? What all the knowledge they have? After going through everything, the Atma Pramana given by Paramashiva and Shastra Pramana given by Paramashiva, then Apta Pramana, the great masters, earlier incarnations of Paramashiva and the enlightened beings, all their Apta Pramanas and various other knowledge traditions, their experiences and expertise. After going through all this, I realized the best ultimate sacred secrets about health, long life, healthy long life. The secret science for healthy long life is revealed in its best form in Veda Agamic literatures. In Hindu traditions, Siddha, Ayurveda literatures, the Upa Veda and Upa Agama literatures. Now, I'll start presenting all of it in a very organized way. In a very presentable way, in a very user-friendly way, to all of you in the Satsangs. First and foremost, let's bow down to Ganapati, who is the manifestation, the greatest manifestation of Paramashiva. Listen. Out of your consciousness, you 3D printed, consciously 3D printed this physical structure, Annamaya Kosha, breathing structure, Pranamaya Kosha, mental structure, Manomaya Kosha, cognition structure, Vijnanamaya Kosha, conscious structure, Anandamaya Kosha, from your superconsciousness, from your core, Paramashiva himself. Understand? Because you printed, you have powers to reprint, alter, evolve, rejuvenate, rebuild any part or fully. Next. I studied not just the Kayakalpa science revealed by Paramashiva in Veda Agama Shastras, not only I decoded, realized the deeper sacred secrets of Veda Agamic scriptures, the Kayakalpa science presented in Ayurvedic Siddha literatures. I also studied how it is practiced in other knowledge traditions like a mucus-free diet and intermittent fasting. All these kind of various knowledge sources. How the hormones and chemicals in your body, when it goes up or down, how they behave, how they make you behave, how your behavior with yourself and with the society makes you experience yourself and how that impacts your hormones and chemicals in turn, how this becomes either vicious circle or virtuous circle. I studied everything. First secret I want all of you to know. Continuously give love. You will live long, healthily. Listen to this first secret. Love everyone. Go on be loving as many people as possible, as many things as possible. Expand your zone of love. Expand your space of love. I tell you, love is such powerful energy. When you give the smile and love, the way others respond to you, react to you, and the way you start feeling about yourself, and the way again you experience you, and the kind of chemicals and hormones you release inside you, and the way you feel secured about yourself and others, it just becomes virtuous circle. Listen carefully. Giving love to yourself, giving love to others, more and more people, more and more situations, more and more beings giving love, taking intense decisions to enrich world, enrich others, Tyaga. Tyaga removes all the negativity from not only your mind, it removes negativity even from your intestine. The parasites, microbes from your intestine gets clean. Gets clean. When you start smiling at people, loving people, giving security to people, making people feel secured about you, with you, around you, you can learn this. If you observe my lifestyle sincerely, intensely, you can learn this. Listen carefully. The only reason I am working, active, alive, continuously, my sincere tyaga, sacrifice, love. Last 26 years we have a documented history of my life. See, my whole 43 years is the great tyaga, hard work of my gurus. But 26 years we have documentation available. The work I am doing continuously active, alive, repeatedly. How many times people try to break me? Not only I don't get disturbed, not only I don't fight back with them, not only I don't vomit any violence or anger, disturb my identity due to them, I just make them irrelevant in my life and continuously work. Do what I need to do. If you study Nithyananda Pedia, the whole documentation of my life, you will understand what I am saying. More than 26 years, sincere, intense work is just because of my simple love and simple dedication, sincere yaga. Not for name and fame. And actually I did not get the name and fame. I only got blamed. I only got accused. I did not get name and fame. So nobody can say I worked because for name and fame. Who got name and fame? Last 10 years especially, being beaten left and right, accused, and assassination attempts, murder attempts, or any other every possible lawfare, cyberbullying, every possible problems were dumped on me. And whatever wealth gathered around me, the organization I built, everything was taken away from me. Everything was stolen and torn to pieces. I did not get anything. But still, I continue to work, and highly excited, highly inspired, intense, only getting more and more intense, sincere in my decisions, in my actions. I am taking my profession more and more seriously, my mission more and more seriously. Bring intense love to your being, you will have such high life energy. I tell you, the life energy is called Ojas and Tejas. The life energy which comes by your intense decisions and intense actions is called Ojas and Tejas. More you love, the reward for the love is you will have more love. The reward for tyaga, you will become a greater tyagi. Reward for sacrifice, you will do more sacrifice. Reward for work is you will do more work. When you, please listen. Reward for love is more love. Reward for sacrifice is more sacrifice. Reward for work is you will get more work. That's all is the reward, and I am happy about it. I sincerely did my first ashram, Tiruchengodu Adinam. That gave me more work to run more adhinams. Then I started sincerely building Bididi. That gave me more work and more love, more sacrifice. Now I am building Kailasa with the grace of Paramashiva. Listen. Love is the source energy. Don't underestimate the power of love. Just few minutes during my puja, I remember my Guru Arunagiri Yogeshwara's love for me and my love for him. That's it, the elixir, the nectar gets released in my brain. And the side effect and after effect of that elixir, that nectar, Amrita Tara from my brain, it keeps me alive, joyful, inspired, excited, blissful for next 48 hours. But within 24 hours, again I do one more puja. Just few minutes of my puja. Remembrance of my feeling connection, just the replay of my love with my Guru. The way I drool over him and the way he held me. That's it. I tell you, that few minutes of my loving, feeling connection, oneness with Arunagiri Yogeshwara is like an internal organ body wash. The way the nectar pours inside my being, it just does a powerful internal organs body wash. So the first and foremost truth I'll tell you is love is the power for healthy, long life. Love is the power for healthy, long life. I just know he himself, who is Paramashiva, source of all knowledge, held me to manifest the best as my life. Oh God. He held me in his palms and still holding me in his palms, making me manifest himself, his own being. Love is the first ingredient you need to add to make you live healthy long. Next, what is the best food? I thoroughly studied with the grace of Paramashiva, a thorough study. The best food is all the things your body has already collected, processed and stored inside you. Whether the fat or anything your body has already stored inside you is the best food for your body. It means if you want to become healthy and live long, allow body to eat all the things it has already procured and stored inside. Stop dumping too much food from outside. Allow body to eat itself. See, if you store too much grains and don't use it, rats can come, so many things can happen and it can become poison. Same way, the fat, undigested food, many things which is stored inside you, if you don't eat them, if you don't use them up, or if you don't flush them out, they can become poison. Best thing, allow your body to eat itself, everything it has collected, accumulated and kept inside, and whatever it cannot eat, digest, make it as part of itself, let it send it out, let it flush it out. The most powerful, important, best food for your body is what your body has already accumulated and stored inside. At least 2 days every week, allow your body to eat itself. Lankanam parama aushadam. Fasting is the greatest medicine. Lankanam parama aushadam. Allow your body to eat itself. If you just stop eating 2 days a week, maybe you can take it like 1 day for Paramashiva, 1 day for Guru. That's it. Just 2 days in a week. Stop eating. Then your body will start eating itself. And if you just juice, drink herbs, herbal teas and juices. There are even herbal coffees. Herbs added hot chocolates. You can drink any of that. It will not only eat itself, whatever the body feels it can't eat or digest, it will just flush all of that out. I tell you, the best food for your body, for healthy long life is whatever is collected and stored inside your body by your body. Allow your body to eat that. Lankanam parama aushadam. Whether your problems are as simple as migraine, some knee pain, small back pain, or as difficult and complicated situation as cancers. Any level, any problem, any disease, I tell you, Langanam Parama Aushadam, like Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha. Among the Dharma, Ahimsa is the Parama Dharma. Among the medicines, fasting, Langanam, is Parama Aushada. Among the Aushadas, Lankanam is Parama Aushada. I am going to give you a lot of detailed tips, instructions for a healthy, long life. I wanted to tell you all, my disciples do not die. My disciples do not perish. Not only I claim, I am going to make healthy long life as a lifestyle of Kailasa. Lifestyle of Kailasa. We have so much of knowledge, and I have so many thousands and thousands of disciples from all over the world who really want to live long because they want to live with me. I am young and I am going to live quite a long time, at least 150 years more. I am very clear. I have a clear plan. At least 150 years more. Earlier I was thinking 126. Now I changed my plan. After this Kayakalpa experience, last 2 years, now I got the confidence I am going to live for quite a long time. So now 43, at least 150 years more. It means almost like 193, more than 193. It's not even like exactly 150 years. At least 150 years more. I tell you, Isavasya Upanishad very beautifully says, Chadaggun Samaha means live hundreds of years happily. The first Upanishad. Such intense life positive. Live hundreds of years. It is not just 100, 100, no. Hundreds of years. Sadaggun Samaha. The true meaning of that word is live hundreds of years. Not only I am claiming the immortality, I am going to make this as a science for Kailasa. Anyone walks into Kailasa and asks how long you are living, as per the medical certificates and documents, I am living for last 300 years. That's the way people should talk. That is the way the system will be evolved. I tell you. You don't need to die. mediocre people are brainwashed to live a mediocre life and die in a middle age, 150 years. 150 years is a middle age. And if you die 100 years, by 100, you died very young. Untimely death. This eating every day itself is a mediocre lifestyle. You have been brainwashed. The great saint from the Shaivite tradition, Thiruvalluvar, he says beautifully, மருந்தென வேண்டாவாம் யாக்கைக்கு அருந்தியது அற்றது போற்றி உணின். You don't need any medicine for your body. If you just know whatever you took inside has already left your body and then take the next meal or food. மருந்தென வேண்டாவாம் யாக்கைக்கு அருந்தியது அற்றது போற்றி உணின். Whatever you ate, make sure it already left your body. You are clean, fresh. Then take the next meal. I tell you, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. So be extremely sincere. Extremely sincere about what you eat. Next, always have higher intention for your fasting. See, the parasites and microbes in your body are more powerful than your mental intentions, than your sankalpa. But if you make your sankalpa as Shiva sankalpa, for example, if you do intermittent fasting for the sake of health, I challenge you will fail. I have seen enough people trying and failing. Because the parasites sitting inside your stomach, the kind of the visualization they release when the hunger chemicals are activated in the body, the kind of the visual picture about the food items they release in your brain, you just forget all your intermittent fasting. You simply eat. Only after you finish eating, you start repenting. Oh God, I drank high sugar juices and my constipation started. This is the regular routine of Tattvapriya I am describing. I tell you, this parasites and microbes sitting inside your stomach, the kind of the visualization they release inside your brain and break your sankalpa, your resolution, and forcibly make you eat. You will come back to your sense only after you eat. So these intermittent fasting ideas do not work. Make your sankalpa into Siva sankalpa by making the fasting as vrata. See, you are feeling connection with Paramashiva. It will have many layers of your emotions associated with it. The intensity of your relationship with Paramashiva, it will have love, it will have little even fear, it will have some kind of a devotion, begging, prayer, greed, fear. So many, almost all emotions mixed together. Use the strength of your relationship with Paramashiva for empowering your sankalpa. That is what is called Mama Sankalpam Shiva Sankalpamastu. Making my sankalpa into Shiva Sankalpa. Use your relationship with Paramashiva to strengthen your conscious resolution. That is what is making your sankalpa into Shiva Sankalpa. Only if you bring the religious commitment, your relationship with God, Paramashiva, into your sankalpa of fasting or diet control, you will have the strength not to get disturbed, shaken, failed, collapsed by the parasites and microbes sitting inside you, sitting inside your biomemory. Understand? When the sex hormones are high in your body, how the parasites and microbes sitting in your body releases intense visualizations and forces you to act out. Same way, when the hunger-related chemicals are rushing inside your body, the parasites and microbes releases intense visualization about the food and eating. Actually, when the hunger comes, you even smell idli and chutney. You literally smell, not just see. And if you try to take a nap, in the dream you will be eating. And simply your resolution breaks. Without the cementing, reinforcing, RCCing of the religious experience, your strength of your relationship with God, Paramashiva, you will never succeed in things related to your food, sex, and obsessive compulsive behaviors. It can be fear related or phobic related issues, all these three, food, sex, phobias, in all these three, you need to use the strength of your relationship with God, Paramashiva, to make your Sankalpa into Shiva Sankalpa to get out of the problems created by the parasites and microbes sitting inside you. Hunger is not just a play of some chemicals and hormones. When those chemicals are released in your body, it triggers the parasites and microbes sitting inside your body, which has a multiple powers and capacities to destabilize you by attacking you physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, in multi-level. Sometimes you even start hating yourself for not able to eat what you want and do fasting. Why should I even live if I can't eat what I want? Hey, you should not eat to live the way you want. You are asked to maintain the diet to have a healthy, long life. But you think a healthy diet and lifestyle is kind of a punishment, and you feel, better to die early by eating whatever we want than to keep this diet and fasting and living a healthy, long life. What is the use? Even if I live healthy, long life without eating all this. What an extreme life negative ideas and thoughts encouraged, released, empowered by the parasites and microbes sitting inside you. Just see. I tell you, use your relationship with God to cement, bolster, empower your Sankalpa into Shiva Sankalpa, Mama Sankalpa into Shiva Sankalpa. I'll tell you one intimate incident happened very recently. I was talking to one of my daughter, whom I really would love to see around me, near me, when I leave the body and go to Kailasa, Maha Kailasa. I may want her next to me and transmit all the powers I wanted her to have and continue this mission. That kind of a person whom I really, really sincerely love and hope and trust as part of me. She was asking me, Swamiji, I want to live as long as you live. Tell me, what should I do? To her, I gave this instruction. Understand, it means this is the ultimate instruction, truth. I can say this is like the essence of this whole Kayakalpa. Royal, sacred, secret science. I gave her the first instruction for you is do Pachapattini Viratam. See, in next few days, Parashakti herself is going to start the Pachapattini Vratam, and with Ganapati's grace, with the grace of Ganapati, Paramashiva, Parashakti, I will also be doing the Pachapattini Vratam. Whoever wants to live healthy, long life, come on, let's do Pachapattini Vratam. Let's start Pachapattini Vratam. This time we have a detailed instructions. From Samayapuram Mahamariyamman temple, how the Pachapattini Vratam is done. It is 28 days, starting 7th March. Let us all do from all over the world. As a Sangha, Kailasa, not only let us all do the Pachapattini Vratam, let us enrich the whole world, as many people as possible, to do Pachapattini Vratam. All over the world. First thing, understand, with the grace of Ganapati, Paramashiva, Parashakti, Mahamari, it is very easy. Not at all difficult. She herself is doing, creating such beautiful ecosystem. And she is doing, it is so easy for all of us to do. And I will also be doing this time. Now, it is not just ordinary fasting. You are given as prasadam of Devi special food. Like fruits, maavu, velakku maavu, maavilakku maavu, panagam, salt-free buttermilk. All these multi-level cleansing detox makes your body supple. Whatever your body can't eat and digest, it will flush it out. திருவண்ணாமலை, மதுரை, சேலம், சீரகாப்பாடி, Rajapalayam, all ashrams in Tamil Nadu. I am opening it. Any of you want to do Pachapatni Vratam, you can come to any of our ashrams to have the support of the ecosystem. You see, when you do it on your own, in your home, you may get tempted, disturbed, and you may not get that exact right diet. But in the ashram, you will have a beautiful ecosystem and everything needed. I am opening the doors of all Tamil Nadu ashrams. And I also wanted to make it very clear. The Bidadi, Bangalore, Adi Kailasa is reserved only for the international sannyas trainees. I am making the Adi Kailasa campus especially for Gurukul and sannyas training of men and women from all over the world. The international people from all over the world, men, women, want to have sannyas training. Only for that purpose, Gurukul and sannyas training. Only for that purpose, the Bidadi campus is reserved. Adi Kailasa is reserved. Adi Kailasa may not be open for public forever. Not just because of this corona. Even after the corona lockdown is over, I decided I will not open the Adi Kailasa Bidadi campus for public. Adi Kailasa is reserved only for Gurukul and sannyas training of men, women from all over the world. It's no more open for public. If you are a public and if you have seen Adi Kailasa, that's it. From now you can't see Adi Kailasa anymore physically. You can see through Zoom when they do the pujas, rituals, virtual tours, you can see. But Adi Kailasa is only for sannyas trainees. Abat sannyasis, Krama Brahmacharis, sannyas trainees and Gurukul. Brahmacharis, Abat sannyasis, Krama Brahmacharis, Naishtika Brahmacharis, sannyasis, men, women both. Only for sannyas training, the Adi Kailas is reserved. People from all over the world can come and have sannyas training. So Adi Kailas will not be opened for public forever. I'm going to make that campus as unique energy field where only sannyasis live. The ecosystem is so pure. A powerful ecosystem of no powerlessness related to food, sex, fears. All three. So it's going to be pure sannyas ecosystem. Adi Kailasa. But all the Tamil Nadu ashrams, I am opening it. Thiruvannamalai, Erode, Tiruchengodadinam. And Salem, Madurai, Rajapalayam, Sieragappadi, I think almost every district headquarters we have ashrams. I am opening all these ashrams, Trishulam, all these ashrams to anyone who want to do Pachapatni Vratam. You can simply come, stay for 28 days. We will do puja to Mahamari Samayabarattu Mahamayi and give you the prasadam you need to take during the Pachapatni Vratam. and provide you a very beautiful, powerful spiritual atmosphere, ambience for you to do the Pachapatni Vratam. If you are in Tiruvannamalai Ashram, you can go around the hill Girivalam every day. If you are in Madurai, our branch Kailasa in Madurai, you can have darshan of Meenakshi and Sundareshwara every day. If you are in Salem Ashram, you can go and have the Kailasanadar, Tarapuram, the Kailasanadar temple darshan, I think Tarasuram maybe, Tarapuram or Tarasuram. That Kailasanadar temple, you can have his darshan every day. If you are in Rajabalayam, you can have the darshan of Vaidishwara, Vaidyanatha Swami and Villibuttur Andal every day. And even Hyderabad Ashram I am opening for the Pachapatni Vratam. Even the palace, the Ichapuram palace of Suryavamsa Surangi Samrajyam, palace also will be open for people to come and observe the Pachapatni Vratam. Other than the Bidadi campus, almost all ashrams I am opening it. Other than the Adi Kailasa, I am opening all the ashrams for people to come and do Pachapatni Vratam. Malaysia campus also will be opened. Any devotee from Malaysia want to observe Pachapatni Vratam, you can come and stay in Malaysia ashram and do Pachapatni Vratam. Alangulam Adinam. In Kerala we have a ashram in Kozhikode and Thrissur. The Kozhikode ashram also will be opened. Anyone wants to do Pachapatni Vratam can come to any of our ashrams, Adinams, campuses, other than Adi Kailasa, in India, Malaysia and Singapore, and even Mauritius, but not in US and Canada. US and Canada, we can't accommodate anyone, not in USA or Canada. All the ashrams in India, Mauritius, Malaysia, Singapore will accommodate, other than Adi Kailasa Bidadi. People who want to do Pachapatni Vratam for all 28 days. You can even come one day ahead and stay after 28 days, few days. It's up to you. We will provide everything needed for you to successfully complete the Pachapatni Vratam, including the spiritual ecosystem, ambience, which is very important for completing this kind of a great vows of Pachapatni Vratam. So, in India, all the ashrams other than Adi Kailasa, even Kashi will be opened. Kashi, Trishulam, Tiruvannamalai, Kerala, Kozhikode, Adinam, and Hyderabad Adinam in Telangana, and Ichapuram Palace in Andhra Pradesh, everywhere. Other than Adi Kailasa, all campuses are open for the people who want to do Pachapatni Vratam. All the Adinams prepare. Have a beautiful big portrait of Samayapuram Mahamayi and Tiruvannamalai Mahamariyamman, both. And start collecting all the things needed. Stock everything. Enrich as many people as you want, as you can. I feel we should do at least 10 lakh million people all over the world should do Pachapatni Vratam. This is the best way to start the Kaya Kalpa. If you are too poor, you don't even have the travel expense. from your place to our nearest Adinam. We can give you the travel expense if it is inside the country. Like somebody in India want to travel to any one of our Adinam to do the Pachapatni Vratam, we can support you inside that country for travel expense. Somebody in Malaysia want to come to Malaysia Adinam and stay for 28 days and do Pachapatni Vratam, we can support that travel expense inside that country. Not from outside the country, inside that countries. So Mauritius Adinam, Malaysia Adinam, Singapore Adinam, and all the Adinams in India other than Adi Kailasa will be open for Pachapatni Vratam. From 7th March we will be starting 28 days. Parashakti, Mahamaya herself is doing. So let us do along with her. She will make it successful for us. This is a best first step towards Kayakalpa. Healthy, long living. The best possible healthy, long living science is available in Veda Agamic scriptures. Many knowledge sources, many countries, many traditions tried. The best secrets are available in Veda Agamic traditions, Veda Agamic scriptures. I will reveal everything and make it as user-friendly, experiential. In further satsangs, whoever wants to join the Pachapatni Vratam, raise your hand and register today itself. Don't allow your mind to waver. Raise your hand and register today itself. Whoever wants to do the Pachapatni Vratam, raise your hand and register today itself and start enriching the world to do the Pachapatni Vratam. So this is the best, beautiful beginning for Kayakalpa. Great. Register today itself and start enriching others also for this great Pachapatni Vratam. Yes. So that the healthy long life starts for all of us. Yes. And great. Wonderful. Let's start enriching the world to do Pachapatni Vratam from today. So with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living, Shuddhatvaita Saivam. The state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The eternal bliss, Nithyananda, Thank you. Be blissful.
श्रीकैलासोन्नतद्वादशान्तश्यामलापीठारूढ श्रीमीनाक्षिसुन्दरेश्वरा भिन्नस्वरूप परशिवपुत्ररत्न कुमार गुरुमण्यतुल्यावतार श्रीपार्वतीस्तन्यपानलब्धदिव्यज्ञान विश्रुतसकलनिगमागमसारभूतद्राविडवेदप्रवक्त्रे श्रीमत्परमशिवकरुणासमधिगतमुक्तामयचतुरश्रयान् गीयमानछत्रचामर श्रीचिह्नकाहलादिसमस्तबिरदावल्यलङ्कृत ज्ञानविज्ञानचक्रवर्ती सर्वजनसङ्घसद्यो निर्वाणदीक्षा व्ययापवर्गवर्ष विश्राण जीमूत परमतकलभकेसरी शैवसिद्धान्तस्थापनाचार्य श्रीराजाधिराजपाण्ड्यमहाराज गुरु क्षपणशाक्यादिमहान्धकारनिवारणज्ञानभानु वीक्षणानर्हार्हध्वजोच्छेदनपूर्वक श्रीमद्वृषभध्वजस्थापक शैवसमयकर्त्रे सर्वज्ञपीठारूढ श्रीजगद्गुरु श्रीज्ञानसम्बन्धदेशिकस्वामि वागीशसुन्दरमाणिक्यवाचकस्वामिनाम् अवतारभूत श्रीज्ञानसम्बन्धस्वामि पुनरुद्धृत श्यामलापीठ सर्वज्ञपीठ 93 गुरुमहासन्निधान अरुणगिरियोगीश्वर परम्परागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञपीठ गुरुमहासन्निधान कैलास परम्परागत काञ्ची कैलास सर्वज्ञपीठ 33 गुरुमहासन्निधान नित्योत्सव नित्यमङ्गल नित्यकल्याण नित्यरजित कैलास परम्परागत आदिकैलास नित्यानन्दपीठ महासंस्थान महासिंहासनपीठकर्तः साक्षात् श्रीपरमशिव समुद्भूत कैलास परम्परागत वैवस्वतमनु इक्ष्वाकु हरिश्चन्द्र भगीरथ श्रीरामचन्द्र शूरसेन इत्यादि अनवच्छिन्न सार्वभौम चक्रवर्ति परम्परागत 64 योगिनी मण्डित 64 सम्प्रदाय प्रवर्तक मनुधर्मशासन सूर्यवंश प्राप्त सर्वज्ञपीठ सुराङ्गी साम्राज्य मूर्धाभिषिक्त चूडामणे साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणिपीठ 800 श्री महामण्डलेश्वर साक्षात् श्री परमशिव सिंहासनाभिषिक्त समस्त गणनायक श्री महागणपति समारंभ अनवच्छिन्न पीठाधीश्वर गुरु परंपरा प्राप्त अटल पीठ 800 श्री अटल पीठाधीश्वर धर्म मुक्ति स्वर्गपुर स्वर्ण पीठ 23 गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परम्परागत आदिपीठ सर्वज्ञपीठ जगद्गुरो श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारक श्री कैलास परमाचार्य श्रीमत्परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य सच्चिदानन्दप्रणवस्वरूप श्रोत्रियब्रह्मनिष्ठ श्रीमज्जगद्गुरु श्रीलश्री भगवच्छ्री नित्यानन्द परमशिव श्री ज्ञानसम्बन्धदेशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिन् अत्रागत्य परिपाल्य च अस्मान् विज्ञानवितरणेन विजयी भव जय जय।
Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gaganasarasham Tattamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavadītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones, ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turyadita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift. Playing with life. Playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence. All these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagavan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha, Aradhomuha, unborn, beyond formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti,
manifestation, sthiti, sustenance, samhara, rejuvenation, prabhava, pulling out of delusion, anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases, thus Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, prabhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojatamurti has 5 phases, Ishanamurti has 5 phases, Vamadevamurti has 5 phases, Aghoramurti has 5 phases, Tatpurushamurti has 5 phases. So, Tatpurushamurti has his 5 phases, Aghoramurti has his 5 phases, Vamadevamurti has his 5 phases, Satyojatamurti has his 5 phases, Ishanamurti has his 5 phases. All these 5 murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself.
Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanitanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam is a reviver of Kailasa, an ancient enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam is an avatar and is a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. He has made the science of our manifestation yoga temple-based university for humanity. So, Sovereign Order of Kailasa, led by His Divine Holiness, and Nithyananda Order of monks, nuns, Hindu diasporas, are working for the global peace to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nithyananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and reviving 20 million source book of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam is the 293rd Guru Mahasanidanam of Shamlapita Sarvanyapita, ancient apex body of Hinduism, and present Emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Samrajyam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam has survived the worst prosecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. The science of power manifestation. Science of power manifestation is authentic, scientific, and foolproof. Shastra, the Pramanas, the Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramana are the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and Agamas. Apta Pramana are the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nainamas, Alvars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who are the scientists who time tested and verified the science of our manifestation. Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of our manifestation. Shakshi Pramana, the experience of millions of disciple devotees, followers, initiated into the science by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study, measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramana,
Vahana. Let's receive his blessings.
Vijnana Bhairava
The
Tantra.
Shastra Pramana for the power of third eye awakening is taken from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 34, Dharana 11. Kapala antarmanonyasya tishthanmilitalochanaha kramena manaso dadhyat lakshaye lakshamuttamam. Kapala antarmanonyasya tishthanmilitalochanaha kramena manaso dadhyat lakshaye lakshamuttamam.
Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by fixing the mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably without any movement, having the eyes closed, in succession, by the stability of the mind and the inner space, through the power of third eye, one directly sees the ultimate goal, Lakshyam, by having the vision beyond the sight, the revivals and any object or place attaining the space of oneness with the source, Paramashiva. Again and again, Bhagavan beautifully gives us the ultimate gift for the world, the Pachapatni Vridam, the parasites which run us constantly. The lower three chakras are only in the physical. Bhagavan says the sleep and the tiredness, the boredom, everything is because of the parasites. We can decide whether we need the sleep or we can decide how we want to exist. But because of the parasite, we have to be run with the parasite with all the addiction it creates. When the parasites are removed, we can just realize ourselves, the pure us, the pure listening, the pure how we exist as Paramashiva's space. Again and again, it is proven that how fasting has made so many of the millions of people very healthy and long life without any disease, and all the problems get simply solved. Here Bhagavan says, when you take the rhythm and as an offering to the deity, it becomes more powerful. And when you do it with such a mass number of people together, offering that great signs at the lotus feet of Bhagavan, simply will be manifesting huge powers. Again and again, science has proven how now they are saying the gut bacteria, how it runs our life and how much of our body versus the bacteria and parasites in us. Only 46% they say we are human, rest are all the parasites. Now all the medical science is finding out all the detail. Still they have to catch up with the ultimate thing, what happens when we are in devotion and in offering as a great offering to a Devi. All this, even the air that we breathe, cleanses us. They put the neem leaves around, the air cleanses our whole being. How Bhagavan said, the Siddhas, Maunasami sat, and just by breathing the good air, he was able to live very long. Each and everything, the science was known to the Siddhas and great people who are avatars on planet Earth who resided and experienced all these things. Now Bhagavan is giving that science to us to experience the same thing and holds the space by initiating us and giving the Diksha. Bhagavan clearly says how we can start manifesting all the powers when we let go all these parasites which are constantly running our life. When we let go the parasites, we'll be us who are a deep listener, manifester, and enjoy the higher reality, the superconscious space, just like Bhagavan, all of us, manifesting the higher reality. The Apta Pramana are the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars who have experienced these powers. Here, how Dhruva was about 7-year-old kid who had a vision of third eye where Vishnu was so pleased by his Patni Vridam. He did not eat, he did not sleep, he did not drink even water, and finally he even stopped the air. And then Vishnu, it was shaking all the lokas because of his will was so strong, and Vishnu had to come down. And when Vishnu appeared in his third eye, he simply said, I have seen you many times in third eye. I want you to be real and in front of me also. And simply when he opened his all three eyes and he saw Vishnu in the same color and same form, the ultimate that those days they were able to live such extraordinary life. As a 7-year-old boy who can go beyond the food, sleep, water, even air was possibility in those days. Now for us, the possibility has come down in Kali Yuga very, very low. All we can do is Pachapatni Vridam. So he has made it so easy that we can eat some of the offering that we offer to the Devi and do the puja and eat only that, otherwise take some liquids. It is a very powerful technique for us to expand into higher consciousness as Dhruva. And how beautiful Bhagavan is giving us the ultimate gift. The Atma Pramana, Bhagavan himself explains his very own experience of third eye.
So we both were walking after the Samyama. We were walking to go around the hill. On the way, one government hospital, Tiruvannamalai is government hospital. Those days it was a small, now it has become big. Government hospital. We were walking in that way. Throughout the way he was talking like, you try this Samyama on somebody and try to prove that you are able to do it. I was thinking what to do. Suddenly, when we were crossing the government hospital, I saw a nurse walking fast inside the hospital. You know, in those days, nurses will wear that long white dress. Immediately, I told this Raghupati Yogi, I will do Samyama on her. Very elderly lady, maybe 50 or 55. I just did Samyama on her, but I was not able to get into her body completely. I was only able to connect with her eyes. Because the Samyama which I practiced morning, I was able to loosen myself only from the eyes. That is the part first gets loosened. Because that is the part through which you relate with the world. More than 80%. So that got loosened in me. I was able to enter into her eyes. But I couldn't control or do anything other than the eyes part. Raghupati Yogi also understood. But he wants to check whether I am able to do it properly. Then after that, we sat there itself in one corner. She was attending a delivery. I described the whole delivery exactly. How the baby is coming out, how she is attending, and what all the equipments are used, and how the baby is washed with the soap, and how the baby has been beaten, how she held the baby. Everything I described in a very detailed way because I am seeing through her eyes. End of the delivery, after she did everything, the relatives of the mother were waiting outside. The moment she came out, they gave a silver tumbler to her as a gift. I saw that also. I described the whole thing to Raghupati Yogi. Raghupati Yogi was convinced, yes, I am able to do that Samyama. She just inserted that tumbler in the hip to hide from the other doctors and officials. Raghupati Yogi wanted to check the power of my Samyama. When she came out, he took me. Raghupati Yogi took me inside the hospital and asked me to tell who is the nurse and where she is keeping the tumbler. I said, she is the nurse and she is keeping the tumbler here in the hip. Raghupati Yogi went and asked, did you get the silver tumbler as a bribe? She was shocked. And he said, you are keeping it in your hip. She was completely shaken. She said, how do you know Swamiji? He said, I saw with my mantra power. And he spent some 2-3 words. He told some 2-3 words. She was shocked and she touched his feet and she went away. Then later on, Raghuji took me inside the place where the baby is there. I described before that itself Raghuji, some of the body marks and how the baby looked and all that. Went inside, checked, everything was perfect as I described.
So beautiful how Bhagwan, through his third eye, was even able to enter into somebody's body and really see how they were doing things. Beautifully, Bhagwan describes the whole science of power manifestation through third eye. Now, let's get an eye band. If you have Jnananjan, you can get your Jnananjan. And if you can get a paper and pen, that will be good. Take a Jivan Bhukti book, or you can open it in online. Download the timestamp as shown here. Make sure you download the timestamp. And get your cameras ready. Let's go to the instruction, the guidelines. If you have a partner, you can ask them to tell you the page number and you can simply download and see the colors of the page, numbers, colors, shapes, whichever is fine with you, you can do it. Make sure your eye band, there is no hole and you have some cotton or something, paper or cotton tissue kept, and then the eye band black, dark color so that no light enters your eyes. Mainly, have the book in front of you. Whatever page appears, start downloading and start writing it down. The colors, the shapes, the pictures. Make sure once you open your eyes and see, you authentically verify the whole thing. As logically we can do beautifully, but something beyond. It appears on your third eye. When your eyes are closed and the eye band is put, simply it appears in your third eye. If you start seeing in your third eye, like how you see in a screen, this is your screen. So start looking into your screen and don't say, it is very dark, I can't see anything, I don't know how to see. Instead of all that, no bacteria and viruses acting upon reactions, let's just surrender to Bhagwan's lotus feet whenever anything comes other than you are manifesting Paramashiva space, you are able to see. Only that context, when we start cooking, when we started walking, we decided that we are walking, we decided we are cooking or swimming. Only then it happens after the decision, after the belief. Same way, once you decide, only it happens. When your child, that's what happens. Why children read very fast is because they say, I can read. Even when they are reading completely wrong, they are saying they are reading. I have seen so many children just like that. They'll read completely wrong, but they'll say, I am reading. But after 1 week, I've seen them completely reading it correctly. That is how it happens in life. First, your confirmation, and then the manifestation just flows through. As your belief, not just words, but the belief becomes yours and the reality just follows. Chant the Mahavakya. Let's sit straight with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Bring your awareness to the third eye. If you have a Jnananjan, apply to your third eye and temples. If it's not there, it's okay. Again and again, remember Bhagwan in your third eye. Unclutch and complete completion. The more and more anything negative, anything impossible, anything that is not you, which comes to you, unclutch for some time. Tell very clearly, this is an appointment for between you and Paramashiva and you. It is not for any other guest now, and there is no question of negative. It is happening. I'm going to experience it. Sit with that space. Such a beautiful space of oneness with Paramashiva. The conversation you have had, the initiation you have had, the darshans you have had, go into that space. The Shaktipada starts happening very intensely when you are feeling the oneness with Paramashiva. The Mahavakya, the oneness capsule, you entangle, have a quantum entangle continuously when you're watching that, watching through your third eye, simply you will also be in the space of manifestation. Do not allow any other thoughts, entertain any other thought trend. Contemplate on the great truth that Bhagavan has given us for 1 hour to give us the depth of Panchapatni Vridham and how our reactionary and addiction can be just taken off by one rhythm that he is giving us. Contemplate on the great truth. Again and again, he is giving us to contemplate much more deeper. And chant the Mahavakya till it becomes Ajapa Ajapa, loudly so that you can hear. As it settles and starts humming in the throat, the tune that you can hear without chanting, then Ajapa Ajapa is really happening in you. So continuously from your navel, chant the Mahavakya. Any of the Mahavakya that Bhagavan has given is fine, but chant loudly and simply let it flow. Don't expect to read. Don't try to get some words. Why it's not appearing? Again, it's an impossibility. Anything the mind says, tell the mind for some time, it's a manifestation time. It just has to happen. You don't think and fall to sleep. You just go into sleep. Just go into the manifestation space and let it download. Whatever comes is a download. And let it download. Simply, you'll see power manifestation happening. Let's sit straight and tie your eyes. Keep the books open and pen and paper. Whatever appears in your third eye, start noting it down. Let's intensely chant the Mahavakya. We'll have 2 cycles. Let's start the first cycle.
Paramashivoham. In all of us, third eye. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
See yourself as 25-headed, 50-handed Paramashiva, as eternally 16, youthful. Commit with Paramashiva. Only he exists. Anything else is delusion. Now, sit straight. We'll enter into the process.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's burden manifest all our burdens. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eye. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
And verify everything authentically. We are going to have one more cycle. Please tie your eye bands after you verify and let's sit straight. Remember Bhagavan again and again in third eye. Ask Bhagavan to show you the whatever needs to appear and simply he will manifest through you. All you need to have a simple obedience, simple integrity, Bhagavan says. Again and again, surrender everything to Bhagavan's lotus feet. He is ultimate and he can manifest through you ultimate happenings. Only if you surrender to Bhagavan more and more, the eye keeps melting down. The original you will be shown to you, the ultimate gift that Bhagavan has given. So let's start chanting the Mahavakya. Sit straight, visualize Bhagavan in your third eye again and again. Tie your eye band such that there's no light which enters the eyes. So your third eye starts functioning fully. Just pick up any cloth and tie it so that there's no light. So that the eyes are not doing that, trying to see something, but third eye opens up and simply starts manifesting. So beautifully, Bhagavan says many times, the cloud is seen is because of the sun only. The sun is not there, clouds are not seen in the night. That is because how we exist, the pure space of Paramashiva, we are able to see the thoughts, but thoughts are not us. But there is something beyond that, which is us. That's what Bhagavan says. Start seeing who is that. Simply the authenticity, the seeking will possess you and you will have an ultimate experience. So let's start chanting the Mahavakya again and again intensely, with such a sincerity. Simply you will manifest the power of third eye. Let's start just chanting.
Overflow, manifest, in all our third eye. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Make sure all of you share all the manifestation in the social media or in your own page or in Kailash Kotiyar Manifesting Power page or group.
Gratitude.
Beautifully, everybody who have manifested even little or manifested the full line from the Living and Enlightenment book, Jivan Mukti book, or from any other pictures, colors, gestures, numbers, whatever has appeared, take a picture of that and start sharing with your friends and families. More and more you reiterate that you are Paramashiva manifesting all these powers. You will experience deeper and deeper connection with Paramashiva. We become what we are. The more and more the worm keep looking at the bee, that the bee is going to eat it, it becomes a bee. That is what we see in the outer world itself. The more and more we get engrossed in that, we become that. In anything, that's what happens in our brain. The mirror neuron starts functioning. So if you think you are ultimate, you become ultimate. By telling other people, we reiterate in our brain who we are. We are nothing but our words. The more and more we speak into the listening of us, we manifest the huge power. It becomes more consistent and more real. Let's surrender all these great powers and powerful cognition that Bhagavan has given to Bhagavan's lotus feet. Whatever you experience, offer to Bhagavan's lotus feet. Thanks, Swamiji. And in your post, you can thank Swamiji in deep gratitude for manifesting all these powers. Thank you, each and every one of you, for coming to the session. Let's end this session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Padaka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam Thank you, everybody. See you after tomorrow's Satsang. Nithyanandam.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all